Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Kellen here again with Droid Life. So Google Pixel Slate in-house, now available. Well, it's been up for pre-order for a little bit. It's now shipping, arriving. If you are still interested in this thing, you can get one now. So we've got one in-house. We've also got the official keyboard in-house. We'll dive into a full review and do all that sort of fun stuff. But of course, you know, we like to start off with unboxings, share those first impressions since we first played with it at Google's event. So anyways, let's just do this. Here's our unboxing of the Google Pixel Slate. I'm not totally sure where to begin here because if you've seen any of the initial reviews that are out, they all say that this thing is awful, that the software is not really there. Obviously, it's kind of expensive. We think it could get better. The Chrome OS as a tablet experiment is still in the early stage. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here to make most people hesitate. In fact, when this thing was on its way, I almost decided to refuse the delivery and just have it sent back to Google because I just don't really want to do it. But anyways, for science or something, we're gonna go ahead and give it some good run. So let's get this thing out of the box. Now, as we pull it out of the box here, let's talk a little bit about pricing. Well, here's the box. There's not really much to show you here. For pricing, it starts at $599, goes up to $15.99. In between there's a $7.99 version and a $9.99 version. This is the $9.99 version. So $1,000 tablet from Google. That does not include the keyboard I showed you. So we're looking at an expensive tablet. It really is expensive. So the $599 version comes with a 4 gig RAM, 32 gig storage, or 8 gig RAM, 64 gig storage. There's probably a price difference in there. And that's running an Intel Celeron processor, whereas the $799 version has 8 gig RAM, 64 gig storage, and runs Intel M3 processor. This one here is the 8th gen Intel Core i5 version with 8 gig RAM, 128 gig storage. Again, it costs $1,000. And then the top tier is an 8th gen Intel i7 with 16 gig RAM, 256 gig storage, and it's $1,600. It's kind of crazy expensive. So yeah. Oh, and then the keyboard thing I'll show you, it's $200. So I'm $1,200 deep in this. If you want the fancy Pixelbook pen, that's another $100. I mean, you guys see where we're going here. All right, so in the box, here's some guides. Get to know your Pixel Slate. Yep, don't care about that. Oh yeah, no headphone jack in this, so they are kind enough to give you a USB-C to 3.5mm headphone adapter. Thank you, Google. USB-C to USB-C cable here in the box. Thank you again, Google, for all the cables. And those connect to this power brick. So USB-C there, plug one in, other end into tablet, and you can power it up. It does have fast charging where like 15 minutes, Google says you can get about 2 hours worth of use. So here is the actual Pixel Slate. I think people like it when you take this plastic off. Ooh, listen to the noise, right? I always find that weird. Unboxing people are weird. So here's the tablet. Let's move the box out of the way. Box now gone. Here is the Pixel Slate. I have no idea how to turn it. Oh yeah, power button up here. So let's power it on and we'll talk about specs. Oh, there we go. There is some juice in there. So 12.3 inch molecular display. That's a fancy way of saying it should be a good enough display. 3000 by 2000 resolution, 293 pixels per inch. LCD display. It's not an AMOLED or anything like that. It's full touchscreen, obviously. Pixel Pen support. We talked about the processors, RAM, and storage. It's a hefty device. This is not light. Google says this thing is light, but it is most definitely not light. It has a front camera up front here in case you want to do some Google Duo calls. That is 8 megapixel, and then on the back right up here, actually, if we can see that, that is also an 8 megapixel camera. F1.9 though, it should take some good photos, right? We love it when people do that. It's got 802.11 AC, Wi-Fi, fingerprint reader up here on this really weird white power button. I honestly am not sure why I get the white power. It looks like a sticker. It's not a sticker. That's actually the power button. It's white. So anyways, that's it. Oh, 2 front-facing stereo speakers. You do have some pins down here on the bottom that'll help you connect to things like the really expensive keyboard thing. So I'm going to log into it and show you guys some of the UI. Actually, while that's updating, let's open this guy, keyboard. So I started logging in there, but it now wants to update. Hopefully that's the de-jankify update because all the review units were super janky. Chrome OS, by the way, I know I'm kind of laughing at the fact that it was reviewed as awfully as it was. Chrome OS does update all of the time. There's beta tracks and pre-beta tracks and all sorts of stuff in case you really want to get crazy and test out all sorts of stuff. Chrome OS update all the time. It will get better. If this thing is super janky as it is today, I'm telling you, it should get better. All right, so here is the $200 keyboard. It doesn't come with anything else in the box, just the keyboard, and it tells you what to do. It says just dock the thing with the connector, use the back to prop it up, and you can adjust the angle in many different ways. There might be some guides. Oh boy, that says be safe. Let's just pull that thing off. I'm not sure there's anything else in there. Doesn't feel like it. No, there's nothing. All right, so here is the keyboard. It's also in that pretty blue that the tablet is. You do have a actual touchpad here. Backlit keys. There's the little connector guy right there. You just set this thing right in there, and it has a kind of a cool case cover actually. Hopefully I don't screw up the update. God, this tablet is so stupid heavy. So plug it in. It just connects magnetically, and then you can actually just attach this, also a magnet to the back, and you just kind of slide this thing up and down whatever angle you want, and it actually just sits there at that angle. It's actually a really cool cover. I mean, you can go all the way back. Well, not there. Not there. About right there. That's about as low as you can go. But you can really prop this thing up. Like, that's kind of nice, right? So you prop that up. It is backlit. I believe this thing charges probably while it's connected to you probably charge them together or something. To take it off, you just pull it right off. So that thing is still updating, which is kind of crazy. I'm actually going to look around because you do have to charge this bad boy, or at least it gets its power from right there. So Google Assistant button there in case you want to fire up the old Assistant. Clickety clack on these. I'll be interested to test these. The Pixelbook keyboard, which Google said this is kind of based off of, is really good. So we'll see if this is also as good. You do have round keys. We'll see if that takes some getting used to. That's that. Let's hopefully that finishes updating really soon. Well, we made it past that giant out of box update. So just keep that in mind. If you do pick one of these up when you pull it out of the box for the first time, it's gonna have a massive critical update that you will need to make sure everything is hopefully working better than it was during review process. So anyway, swipe up here from this bottom bar down at the bottom. That gets you into all of your apps, and it's just preloading a bunch of stuff I had on a previous Pixelbook, so it's pulling in folders and apps and that sort of thing. You have Google Assistant up here. You also have just your general search bar, some shortcut mentions or recommendations for apps you may want to launch. You do have that Google Assistant button down here you can tap on and talk to Google Assistant. Of course, we have Google Play, so you can install apps. There is a file browser. I mean, from here, it's kind of getting to computer stuff, and I'm not going to dive into all of this, but the basic thing is Chrome. Use Chrome for a lot of stuff. It is Chrome OS, but this is more of a computer than it ever has been. This is obviously a tablet version, but Chrome OS has come a long way. You have your quick settings shortcuts over here on the right, including volume adjuster, brightness slider, that stuff. So that's all there. There's your shortcut to settings, and this is where your notifications will be for stuff you have incoming. It's getting very polished, I should say. Again, the early reviews have said this is not a great experience, and there's jank and slowness and all sorts of that everywhere. So I'm going to test it and play with it, and hopefully this thing just gets better. That's sort of it. If I attempt to do this on camera, take this thing off of here, and now it's sort of in tablet mode. So tablet mode is actually very similar to the mode I was just in, except it now opened up this app drawer at all times, sort of like an iPad-ish, I believe, which I'm not a huge fan of, but yeah, so there's no more like swipey bar. It's all just here. That's kind of weird. I'm not really a huge fan of that, but hey, we'll probably get used to it. Everything else kind of stays in the same place. So this was just an unboxing. I just want to show you guys the device, let you know that we do have one now, and even though it's supposed to not be very good, we will do our best to review it. There's a fun G logo there. Anyway, so if you guys have comments, questions, anything in particular you want us to test with this bad boy, we certainly will. Here's fingerprint reader, works nice, great. That's pretty much it. I have nothing else to add. We are Droid Life. This is the Pixel Slate. Peace.